We have a situation with the mainstream media now. They're not talking about Bill Clinton taking a $1 million birthday check from Qatar. That just came out as of 2 hours ago. A country that imprisons gay people, a country in which it's still legal for a husband to beat and rape his wife. But Hillary Clinton is the big feminist, the big women's rights champion. Bill Clinton taking a $1 million birthday check from Qatar so they could have pay-for-play access in Haiti after that devastating earthquake. Absolute bombshell revelation on top of all the others. Obama, the Obama White House funding and supporting ISIS, which also came out in the Podesta Wikileaks emails. Of course, we had the Clinton campaign deleting emails despite knowing it was illegal. That came out a couple of days ago. But the New York Times is not interested in talking about any of that. They're interested in talking about a woman who claims with no evidence that Donald Trump touched her on a plane in the 80s. That's the big New York Times bombshell that they've got. Again, Donald Trump making a comment in Trump Tower saying, oh, I'm going to be dating her in 10 years as some girls go up an escalator. That's the massive bombshell. 20, 30-year-old alleged incidents with no evidence, comments, remarks from 1992. Yeah, in the Podesta emails, we have bombshell after bombshell after revelation, and none of them give a damn. They're not interested in telling you about it. And why not? Well, we know why. Because the emails also reveal that the media, the vast majority of it, is not only pro-Hillary, doesn't just have a pro-Hillary bias, it literally is the Hillary Clinton campaign. I mean, how many examples do we need to see by this point? Journalists giving Hillary questions in advance of town hall debates. Univision in concert, again, shaping the narrative before it happens. We've got Louise Mensch, these never-Trumpers, actually writing Hillary campaign ads for her campaign and being praised for it while pretending to be conservatives. Absolute bombshell revelations. We're going to go through the list later on. Name by name of these Clinton friendlies, these Clinton surrogates that have completely abandoned any pretense of neutrality, of actual journalistic integrity, to become complete prostitutes for Hillary Clinton. And then they have the nerve to attack me, to attack InfoWars over this whole Bill Clinton rape protest, which we're going to get into further as well, because the Clinton campaign is not very happy about it, because it's actually overturning the narrative on these Trump tapes. Now, of course, we were told before the weekend that Trump's campaign was in total chaos. It was about to collapse. GOP establishment members were told privately that Trump was about to stand down. That was a complete hoax. It failed completely. And now we have the evidence of that. Rasmussen poll. After the debate, which Trump obviously won, CNN and the rest of them came out with their biased polls that said that Hillary creamed him once again. Well, this is the response from Americans. The latest Rasmussen Reports White House Watch national telephone and online survey shows Trump with a 43% support amongst likely US voters to Clinton's 41%. We are back. It's the Alex Jones Show live with breaking news as it happens on the Wikileaks releases at Infowars.com. Now, before the break, we were just getting into this, of course. Last week, days before that shocking Trump tape was released, GOP insiders were told, and this is from insiders within the Trump campaign, most of this hasn't even come out yet. I mean, I'm so bombarded with WikiLeaks information, I haven't even had a chance to write this article. But insiders were told, GOP establishment insiders were told that Trump was going to drop out, that he was going to stand down, that Mike Pence was going to take his place, that they had to get out of endorsing Trump before he stood down in order to not go down with the sinking ship. That's what they were told days before this Trump tape was released last week. You had Jerry Falwell saying that he was told of a plan by GOP insiders, Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney, Jeb Bush, that crowd, 6 weeks before, that they were going to launch this attack against Trump, that it would force him to stand down. Of course, it was a complete and total hoax. How many scandals about Donald Trump do we need to hear? And the narrative is, oh, this is it for Trump. It's all over for him. No, it hasn't been over for him in any one of those instances. So why should we believe it now? So you had McCain come out. You had Paul Ryan come out, distance themselves from Trump. Again, the polls came out and showed that the vast majority of people were sick of the GOP establishment. They didn't want them to back away from Trump. It was another media hoax, complete hoax. Now the polls come out. Rasmussen, despite the fact CNN saying that Trump lost the debate and now he's finished after the tape, after a woman said that Trump touched her on a plane in the 80s with no evidence whatsoever. Again, they said Trump was finished. His campaign was sunk. Now he's got to step down, right? Well, wrong. They were wrong again. What a surprise. Rasmussen, Trump is ahead, 43% to 41%. Now, bearing in mind, this is not a poll. This is not like NBC's poll, which is literally run by a Clinton Foundation lackey who's been paid by them, which oversamples Democrats 10, 20, 30% each time, like Monmouth polls, like all these other rigged polls, the post-debate polls. Rasmussen is reasonably fair in that it samples, on average, an equal number of Republicans and Democrats. And this is what they're saying in the latest national telephone and online survey, which was taken after the shocking, damning Trump tape, after the debate. We're talking October 10th to October 12th. The first part of this week, it shows likely US voters support Trump 43% to Clinton's 41%, overturning a 4% lead that Clinton had over Trump just a day previously, overturning a lead of 7 points that she had on Monday. So we've seen an amazing resurgence by Trump just this week alone, due in no small part to the Bill Clinton rape protests, which the Clinton campaign are now panicking about. I'm going to have more on that later. But Rasmussen reports that its White House Watch survey daily Monday through Friday, based on a 3-day rolling average of 1,500 likely US voters, again, 3 times the sample size that the likes of CNN use. Again, it was the first following the release of an 11-year-old video showing Trump discussing women in graphic sexual detail, but did not include any polling results taken after the debate. So they're talking about the previous poll. All 3 nights of the latest survey follow Sunday's debate. So this is after the debate. This is after the tape. Again, before that, 7 points ahead for Clinton. After that, Trump is now 2 points ahead. 84% now say they are certain how they will vote in this year's presidential election. And among these voters, Trump posts a 49% to 46% lead over Clinton. So again, that goes to the heart of there's more enthusiasm behind Trump supporters. They're more likely to get out there on the day and vote, whereas lukewarm Hillary Clinton supporters aren't. And you saw the same thing before Brexit. The people who really wanted Brexit, they had more enthusiasm. They could be bothered to get off their backsides and actually go and vote and win it, and then not whine about losing afterwards and demanding a recount or demanding a second referendum. So there's far more enthusiasm behind Trump. Among voters who say they could still change their minds between now and Election Day, it's Clinton 40%, Trump 37%. So again, 3% more Clinton supporters than Trump supporters say that they could still change their minds. So again, more votes up for grabs for Trump. Johnson supporters, 19% say they could still change their minds, and Stein, 4%. So again, those votes remain up for grabs. Now listen to this. Most Republican voters still think top GOP leaders are hurting the party with their continuing criticism of Trump, and are only slightly more convinced that those leaders want Trump to be president. So this GOP insider establishment attack has not only not worked, again, it's proven to be unpopular with actual Republican voters. So again, this hoax that everybody's abandoning the ship, everybody's running into the arms of Paul Ryan, complete BS, disproven once again as another media hoax. Trump has 75% support among Republicans, nearly identical to Clinton's 76% backing among Democrats. He has 15% of the Democratic vote, whereas she picks up 13% GOP support. So again, more of the Republicans are behind Trump than Democrats are behind Hillary. Trump holds a double-digit advantage among voters not affiliated with either major political party. So the hoax failed. The GOP insiders who tried to convince everyone that Trump was going to stand down, that he was going to stand aside for Mike Pence, and that they should get out before the ship sinks, you know, to preserve their amazing reputations or whatever. Complete hoax. Proven wrong once again. Now we have more evidence of that being a complete failure. CBS News reports, headline, nearly 100,000 Pennsylvania voters switched from Democrat to Republican. Nearly 100,000 Pennsylvania Democrats have switched to Republican since the beginning of the year. Complete exodus from the Democratic Party in Pennsylvania. What's more, the Pennsylvania Republican Party says more than 240,000 new voters have joined the party since last November. So a huge surge again on the back of Donald Trump's campaign, you know, which is supposedly so unpopular with Republicans that they're just abandoning him in droves. Complete hoax. Absolute hoax, proven wrong once again. The party says the new numbers come from the Pennsylvania Department of State, which shows that 97,600 Democrats have actually switched to Republican. Numbers show 38,000 Republicans have switched to Democrats. So again, they're abandoning the Democratic Party in droves. If it's an unpopularity war between Clinton and Trump, then again, Clinton's not doing too well out of it. But again, what's the mainstream media talking about? Are they talking about the $1 million birthday check from Qatar handed to Bill Clinton in return for pay-for-play favors in Haiti? No, they're not talking about that. They're not talking about bombshell emails showing that the Obama administration knew they were arming, supporting ISIS when they went into Libya to topple Gaddafi. They're not talking about the Clinton campaign deleting emails knowing it was illegal. Again, absolute bombshell revelations. Nobody can even keep up with them at this point. The Podesta emails are now at round 6. Round 6 released today. They're not only dumping them once a day, they're dumping them multiple times daily. But what's the mainstream media talking about? They're talking about Donald Trump accused by a woman with no evidence that he touched her on a plane in the 80s. That's their big story. Complete ignorance of all these actual bombshells that directly impact the lives of Americans right now, the future of the country. No, that's not important enough to report on. But what is important, what's their top story? Donald Trump made a comment about some girls on an escalator in 1992 saying, in 10 years, I might date you. How, in any way, does that impact actual working Americans today or the future of the country? It doesn't. But that's what they're going with, because they think that by turning Donald Trump into Bill Cosby, when in actual fact it's Bill Clinton who is Bill Cosby, that they can sink Donald Trump. This Rasmussen poll suggests that it's not working. Now, we got a headline out of Zero Hedge. This is war. Trump drafting lawsuit against New York Times for story he groped and kissed woman. And this is how it reads, with the Podesta email leaks now a daily feature providing further insights into the inner workings of the Clinton campaign, and with the shock over the Trump tapes fading, a new distraction had to emerge to keep the public distracted. And sure enough, it happened last night when several women came forward to allege that they had been groped or forcibly kissed by Donald Trump as far back as 36 years ago. Now, again, this is Jessica Leeds, somebody who's donated to the Democratic Party, somebody who's a Democratic operative. In fact, there's some information on Twitter which suggests, although it's not proven yet, that she could actually share a phone number with the Clinton Foundation itself. Obviously, this is a setup, but it looks like it could be yet another complete hoax. So you've got this woman who is essentially saying, you know, this famous billionaire sexually assaulted me and is running for president. Oh, but I better keep it a secret for 35 years until it fits the media narrative. That's what she's basically claiming, this so-called incident at the time. She didn't report it to airline staff. She didn't report it to the police. She sat on it for 35 years and just by coincidence started talking about it to the New York Times, which again is completely in bed with Hillary Clinton as exposed by the Wikileaks emails, less than 4 weeks before the vote. Isn't that an amazing coincidence? And we'll get more into that and the latest Wikileaks revelations after the break. This is the Alex Jones Show Live, breaking news at Infowars.com. Stay with us.